The Voice of Global South Summit, third Voice of Global South Summit, that is a conference or meeting of Global South countries. All Global South countries leaders, presidents will assemble together. They will make a meeting like international summits, you know already, like G20, like ASEAN, like that. So in the same way they held a meeting, but this is not physical meeting. It is not held inside a country. It is held in online mode, online conference. And the special thing is India is the host for this meeting. India hosted this meeting. In online conference only they discuss things on development. India will host third Voice Global South Summit on 17th August 2024. In 17th August 2024, this was happened. This is unique initiative begun as extension of Prime Minister Narendra Modi vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas or Sab Prayas. So our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. Okay, this is the theme of this summit and underpinned by India's philosophy of Vasudhaika Kutumbam. Vasudhaika Kutumbam means all universe is one family. Universe is one family, all countries are family members. Okay, that is Vasudhaika Kutumbam theme, philosophy. It envisages bringing together countries of global south to share their perspectives and priorities on common platform across a whole range of issues. So what they will do in this conference means they will share their perspectives, vision, ideas and priorities. Okay, that they will share on this platform, online conference or platform. Okay, the third Voice of Global South Summit with overarching theme of an empowered Global South for sustainable future. What is the theme of this summit? That is whatever the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. This is vision of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. But the theme of this summit is empowering global south for sustainable future. Okay, and will act as a platform to expand discussions held in previous summits on a range of complex challenges that countries to affect the what they discuss. Why they have to discuss means they are all LDCs. They can make some plans so that they can come out of this low development. So for development, first of all, they have to come out of the existing problems or challenges. Okay, problems or challenges exist in the country. So that's critical challenges they discuss here in this platform. What are the challenges means conflicts, regional politics, geopolitics, food, energy security crisis. Means because we are depend on imports for food. So what is the effect of these imports in future? Okay, if a country depends always on another country for food imports, if the friendly ties ends, they become enemies. In that case, people will suffer for food also. So food shocks will happen. How to eliminate these type of food shocks? And energy problems means most of the oil we are importing from West Asia. So with Pakistan we are having some problems, politics problems, enemy, and Israel we are having problems. Iran, Iraq, like Taliban countries, we are having some sort of issues. So because of these issues, how the energy thing, trade thing will be affected, that they will discuss. And even climate change. In climate change also lot of politics are going on because for carbon credits each country has to give funding. How much on basis of how much carbon credit it is producing every year. Based on that, each country has to pay something as compensation. But some developer countries don't accept to pay this compensation. That is the issue coming. Because what are the pollution happening in LDCs because of high developed countries energy consumption. For that, the low developed countries LDCs are asking some compensation from developed countries, but they are not willing to pay. In that also, there also a lot of geopolitics are happening in the world. So all these critical things are discussed on this platform. How to face those developed countries who are not accepting to pay the carbon credit amount. To remove the pollution from developing countries, they need some fund. The fund also, they are not cooperating. So how to negotiate with them, how to make some proper solution to this problem, all these things are discussed in this summit. Okay, all which disproportionately affect developing countries in severe manner. So these will affect in severe manner because a developed country sending pollution to a developing country because of their luxuries, okay, energy consuming economy. Developing countries are getting pollution, but they are not ready to give compensation also. So you send pollution to in our weather, and even you do not pay compensation to implement environment protection measures. So what is the use? How much the developing country is suffering from developed world? That is the severe issue discussing here. Okay. At the summit, the countries global south would continue deliberations on challenges, priority solutions for global south and particularly in the developmental domain. Okay. And similar to previous two summits. So already this is a third Voice of Global South Summit. Previously there are two summits happened in the past. Okay, the third VOGSS, every time it is I am very facing difficult to pronounce Voice of Global South Summit, so I will make it into a shortcut. VOGSS will be held in virtual format and is structured into leader session and ministerial session, and this session also divided into leader session and ministerial session. Leaders means only the prime ministers, presidents of countries will participate in this, and ministerial means other people from the country like the IFS officers, ministers. Okay, they participate in these sessions. The inaugural session would be at the head of the state government level and will be hosted by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. The theme of inaugural leaders session is same as overarching theme of the summit, an empowered global south for a sustainable future. Means whatever the summit theme is there, that is for leaders only. But the theme for in other session, ministerial session is different. Okay, the theme of the summit is unity of voice, unity of purpose, and it will consist of 10 sessions over course of 2 days. Okay, the inaugural theme of inaugural leader session is Voice of Global South Summit for Human Centric Development. So the inaugural session theme is Voice of Global South for Human Centric Development. Means development in the perspective of humans. Development is not like that they create pollution in the environment so that humans can't live. It's not like that. Human centric development. Okay, and concluding session theme is leader sessions in the unity of voice and unity of purpose. Okay, so two themes are there. Total 3 themes are there. Whatever the empowering future theme is there, that is for the session and also for the leaders. Whatever the inaugural session theme is there, that is Voice of Global South, Human Centric Development. And whatever the concluding session is there, that theme is unity of voice and unity of purpose. Okay, total unity. Human and unity, that you have to remember. And sustainable future also. 3 words you remember to remember these all themes. Okay, in addition there will be 10 ministerial sessions. Whatever the ministers came from other countries, means entered into the conference from other countries, they discuss different 10 sessions. 10 ministerial sessions are there on different topics. What are the topics? Let us see here. Foreign minister session on charting a unique paradigm for global south. Okay, so they plan a unique agenda for global south. Means agenda means like on what topics they have to fight first. on topics, on what topics they have to work or fight with the developed world first. Okay, health minister session, one world, one health. Okay, in health also they must do some sort of cooperation. Cooperation is needed. Suppose in COVID pandemic, if one country don't have vaccines, the other country has to help out by sending them. So this health cooperation is very important. Some sort of treatment is not available in India. Then they can take some other country help to develop this treatment. So technology sharing is important between countries so that regional development will be easy. Okay, youth minister session on youth engagement for better future. How to engage the youth for better future? If youth are productive in a country, so automatically the country will be productive. But how to utilize these youth? How to empower them with national challenges and how to make them work on these challenges? Okay, Commerce Trade Minister session on trade for development perspectives and global south. Trade fair is nothing but fixing duty charges. They negotiate here. Suppose China is charging 100 rupees duty on each item from India. In this summit they negotiate. Please don't do 100 rupees is very more for us. If we are importing 1 lakh products, for 1 lakh into 100 rupees, okay, we are paying around 1 crore as a duty. This is a huge amount. So please make it 60 rupees. Like that on trade negotiations they can do in this summit. Okay, Information Technology Minister session, DPIs for development and global south approach. Information technology is nothing but technology sharing. Lot of phones will be importing. We are importing from China only, lot of mobiles like that. Okay, France Minister session on people-centric approach on global finance. Okay, so second Foreign Minister session on global south and global governance. Okay, and Energy Minister session on sustainable energy solutions for sustainable future. Even the energy conference meeting was done in which sustainable energy solutions were discussed in detail. Okay, Educational Minister session on prioritizing human resources development, a global south perspective. In education conference they discussed about HR development globally. HR development. Okay, Environment Minister session on pathways for progress, a global south perspective on mitigating climate change. So even environment session also done in which they discussed how to tackle climate change. Okay, so India has hosted first Voice of Global South Summit on 12th to 13th January 2023. So the first Voice of Global South Summit, first VO GSS was done in Jan 2023 and now third VOGAS was done in 2024. Okay, in between second one was done in 17th November. Second VOGS was done in November 2023. Okay, these 3 dates you have to remember. Means within 2 years there are 3 Voice of Global Summits. This was done in August, third summit. Okay, so both our previous editions are summits saw participation of over 100 countries from global south, and the 3 meetings are in virtual format only, online meetings only, not physical meetings. Okay, the inputs and feedback received from leaders of developing countries in these 2 summits was appropriately reflected in agenda and discussions of G20 summit under Indian presidency. See how this VOGS is very useful. Means whatever the points discussed in this meeting, the points priorities discussed between leaders in these 2 summits were given priority as agenda in G20 meeting. Okay, so inputs and feedback received from leaders of developing countries in these 2 summits were appropriately reflected in agenda and discussions of G20 meeting under Indian presidency last year. Okay, so that is called Delhi Declaration. So what about second Voice of Global South Summit, VOGSS? Means India always stand with Global South and seeks to strengthen UN effectiveness, said External Minister Annual Commemoration Day of United Nations. So India always wants to support Global South. That's what our External Foreign Minister has been told before UN. Okay, India focus on reformed multilateralism, rule of law and fair and equitable international systems aimed at ensuring UN continued relevance. So India prefer for multilateralism, okay, means agreement between several countries. Rule of law means law will be same for everyone all over the world, and fair and equitable justice in international system. Okay, so about the summit, what happened in the summit? India hosted the summit as president of G20 in a bid to accumulate views of developing countries regarding effects of pandemic and Ukraine war. Okay, only COVID-19 pandemic and Russia-Ukraine war were discussed. Okay, after these two pandemics, what are the effects on countries? They are discussed. Now, what will be the points referred from each leader will become the inputs to G20 meeting held in India. Okay, United Nations Day was generally observed on October 24th. It marks anniversary of entry into force 1945 of UN Charter. On this day, ratification of this founding document by majority of signatories, including 5 permanent members of the Security Council and United Nations, officially came into being. Okay, so after ratification by the members only, United Nations came into being in 1945. So India as voice of Global South Summit. Why India plays a great role in Global South means always India is hosting all online virtual conference of Global Voice of Global South Summit. Okay, and even these Voice of Global South Summit inputs gone into G20, in which India played as a president role last year. That's why India become a key playing a key role in both VOGSS and G20 now. Okay, India is eager to become bridge between North and South, and even India wants to connect both Global North and Global South by participating in these conferences, focusing on practical outcomes rather than returning to old ideological battles. So they focus on practical advanced issues than ideological issues. Means ideological means they fight for philosophy or theory and each belief. But practical means what? Like trade things, climate change, okay, energy things they discuss. Then it will be practical. Whatever Russia-Ukraine war going, how to control it. These will be practical topics. If they fight on how global World War I happened, World War II happened, why our leaders did like that that time. Now how we can be friends, how we can be allies, like that. Old things if they discuss, that thing will go like philosophy or ideological. But now they are practically thinking of critical challenges the world, total global south is facing, like energy crisis, climate change problem, trade issues, trade tariff issues between the countries, how the fight is going for oil prices, and also because of Russia-Ukraine war, how the costs are increasing all over other countries, how the people are facing issues, inflation, how it is increasing. All these things they are discussing in this summit. Okay, to achieve this, India must actively engage with messy regional politics within developing world, and that's why to solve all these critical challenges, India must understand regional politics, how the regional politics of each region going, so that based on it, India can come to an assessment. If they analyze or assess how the problem is coming, then they can find a solution After once the regional politics problems fights are over, people can think of climate change and energy crisis, trade tariff burden, and Russia-Ukraine war, etc. things. Okay. So this is what India is thinking. First of all, we have to solve issues between countries, then we can work on other things. Okay, Global South is not a coherent group, does not have a single shared agenda. This demands tailored Indian policy to different regions and groups of developing world. Okay, so this Global South is not a closed group. It is an open group where all South countries are involved in this, and it has a shared agenda, so that the policy will, once a policy drawn in from the Global South, it will go into several countries or group of countries. Okay, totally developing world, LDCs, they can handle with this policy. Means it is a long broad term, policy is a broad term in Global South because it represents many countries in the world. Okay, if India can translate this ambition into effective policy, there will be no contradiction between simultaneous pursuit of universal and particular goals. Voice of Global South Summit is a platform where countries from Global South, described as developing or less developed, come together to share perspectives and priorities. They share their perspective, priorities and common challenges, common problems. Okay, common problems they are facing, so that the country is being staying like LDC only for years. It is not going into developed country, because if you see, India is there. For oil it is paying to West Asia. Okay, and for technology it is paying to China, like Southeast Asian countries. So half of the amount of revenue you are paying to exports or imports, then how you can develop? You can stay like LDC only for more time. That is the issue. So the exports imports burden should be reduced on one country. Each country must become self-reliant, self-nirbhar Bharat, you might be heard of. That's why in this scheme also India is developing several industries, so that India need not to depend on other country imports, so that India need not to pay large number of tariffs. So if tariff burden reduced, automatically India will become a developed country compared to LDC, like that. Okay, so the summit focuses on sustaining momentum toward a more inclusive, representative, progressive world order, and it also wants to establish a progressive world order. Okay, India will host first virtual Voice of Global South Summit on January 13th, according to Foreign Secretary Vinay Patra. Okay, India has been set up already, hosted the first Voice of Global South Summit VOGWS on Jan 12th 13th of 2022. The summit will bring together 120 countries. At that time 120 countries have joined this summit to share their perspectives, priorities and common factor. This is common everywhere. Two things you have to remember: perspective, priorities and challenges. Three words you have to remember. Why all Global South countries are coming together means to work on these three things. So Narendra Modi indicated that priorities would continue to be shaped in consultation with the developing countries. Okay. So even the Voice of Global South Summit second VOGWS hosted by India focused on condemning Hamas attack, okay, and called for restrained dialogue and diplomacy resolve Israel-Hamas conflict. In second Voice of Global Summit, what they discussed? In second VOGWS, they discussed Hamas conflict, how to solve it. Okay, Israel and Hamas. Gaza issue also. Gaza is also very important. They try to solve this regional problems, regional fights, so that West Asia will develop more compared to current development, because it become like a LDC due to all these issues. What happened once war happened? All government properties will be destroyed. Government spend like crores in developing these properties. All these properties will be destroyed in war. Then again government has to start from scratch to develop a country. So again it needs revenue. So whatever savings are there, they will be over in setting again the country from losses. Okay. So participation from about 130 countries focused on shared commitment to avoiding situations where development initiatives lead to debt trap. Another problem. So 8 ministerial meetings were held in second VOGWS. Okay. So in third VOGWS we saw, we saw total of 10 ministerial meetings. But in second VOGWS there are 8 ministerial meetings. Okay. Aim is to bring together countries of global south and share their perspectives, priorities, common platform, access whole range of issues. So what are the 8 ministerial meetings discussed? On finance, environment, okay, foreign minister session again. Means foreign minister sessions means they plan their visits to other countries. Energy minister session on energy security and health education. Okay, same priorities were discussed again in second Voice of Global South Summit. So till now we saw global south countries has perspectives, priorities, challenges in common. Apart from these three, they all have one common problem. That is debt trap. Okay. So why debt trap happens to LDCs? Okay. For low development countries, why debt trap happens? So for example, in 2018-19 period, China has started BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. After China started this initiative, to counter China, other countries also started other infrastructure initiatives. Okay, like if you see Global Gateway of European Union, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, Blue Dot Network, Asia-Africa Growth Corridor. Asia and Africa also started one joint venture, that is Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, Partnership for Quality Infrastructure, etc. So all these initiatives led LDCs into debt problem. To make new infrastructure projects, they have to take debt from World Bank, okay, IMF, like that. So all the people went into debt trap. Okay. So what are their concerns over debt trap? The summit, without explicitly naming China, made veiled references to Belt and Road Initiative and observed impact on causing debt traps in multiple countries. Even the Belt and Road Initiative, whatever the countries involved in this project, LDCs, they also gone into debt. For example, Italy, you take. Okay, small countries also went into debt trap because of this BRI, Belt and Road Initiative of China. There was anonymous call for more sustainable and viable development financing to navigate economic challenges posed by global uncertainties. And apart from, once they invest in the project, afterwards COVID-19 started. Okay, Russia-Ukraine war started. So each and every country gone into more economical stress. Okay. So debt burden in focus. They kept some focus on debt burden. Foreign Secretary Vinay Patra highlighted prevalent concerns over debt burden in various sessions, emphasizing that development projects should not impose a structural debt burden on economy. So development should not be in the sense that you are developing but you are making debts. It is of no use. Suppose if you take a car, buy car loan EMI, means you own a car but you own some debt also, then that type of development is of no use. That's what he is telling to each and every country. So development they are going into debt trap. It is of no use development. Okay, the need for sustainable financing resonated across leaders, finance, foreign minister sessions. So decisions and agreements. The summit witnessed emerging economics like Kenya, Nepal, Brazil, among others, reaching agreements in 10 sessions. They also made some understanding agreements, MOUs, in the ministerial meetings. Okay, covering foreign policy, finance, trade, energy and more. Okay, foreign policy discussed. Finance means like debts, tariffs, trade, etc. things, and energy, oil prices, etc. things are discussed on these topics. So even MOUs were done. Decision included shaping the future of global south through cooperation, reducing east-west development dichotomy, people-centric development, finance, commitment to sustainable development and climate action. And even the decisions they taken are climate action, commitment to sustainable development, people-centric development. Development should not be like that. People are suffering in the country. It should not be in the sense pollution should not happen, climate change should not happen. And reducing east-west differences also. Okay. So, ministerial level sessions of second VOGS, 8 ministerial meetings, already we discussed this. So, shared commitment to inclusion. The summit concluded with shared commitment to global south, speaking more forcefully on global challenges, seeking cooperative solutions, avoiding confrontation in addressing the issues. Whatever the perspectives, P, priorities, challenges. On challenges, they come to a confrontation. Okay. The outcome of the summit is 3 things you have to remember. Okay. Perspective, priority and challenges plus debt to trap, DT. Okay. So the outcome of the summit, Indian PM unveils Dakshin Global South Center of Excellence and calls for 5 C's for Global South: consultation, cooperation, communication, creativity and capacity building. Narendra Modi ji, Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of our India, has announced Dakshin Global South Center of Excellence with 5 C's. 5 C's. What is the 5 C ambition? Means consultation. They have to consult, cooperation, communication, creativity and capacity building. So what are the challenges faced by, common challenges faced by LDCs, Global South countries now? LDC or Global South become same now. Okay. LDC or Global South become same now. So high public debt. Due to development projects, they are going into debt. Absolute global governance and financial institutions. Even the financial institutions can't solve some issues like WTO because some trade issues do not solve soon. And even geopolitics, fight between some countries in West Asia, even international organizations can't solve this. Okay, disappropriate vulnerability to climate change. So even the LDCs are facing lot of problem due to climate change because of climate change. For environment protection measures, they have to spend a lot of fund. But the fund is not there. Even the developed world not spending amount for these measures. This is also become a burden now to developing countries. And divergence from global north. So it is totally divided, like north is different, developed things, and south is like underdeveloped. Okay. So geopolitical conflicts. Even geopolitical problems are there. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced Global South Center of Excellence for R&D to develop research and development solutions for developing countries. What are the debt trap problem is there? To come out of it, this center will suggest some solutions. That is the ambition of this center. He also called for human-centric development, globalization to address concerns of these countries. Okay. So what are the challenges faced by global south countries? LDCs, COVID-19 pandemic, rising prices of fuel, fertilizers, food grains, okay, imports, exports, geopolitical tensions adversely impacted developing countries. He also said that desire a globalization that does not create a climate crisis, debt crisis. Okay, development should not lead to debt or climate crisis. These two things he noted. The Prime Minister said, we want human-centric globalization. Developing countries are concerned about increasing fragmentation of international landscape. Okay, these geopolitical tensions distract us from focusing on our development priorities. Suppose Russia-Ukraine conflict is there and West Asia conflicts are there. Like Gaza conflict is there. Hamas conflict is there. So always people are fighting. People are concentrating on the geopolitics. Then how they can focus on development? That's what he is saying. That's why the Center for Excellence will try to solve geopolitics first, so that next it can lead to development. Okay, to address this geopolitical fragmentation, we need fundamental reforms of international organizations including UN Security Council and Bretton Woods institutions. So he suggests that there must be some reform in world organizations, world level organizations, so that they work effectively to solve these geopolitical issues first. Okay, Global South Center for Excellence. Development solutions are best practices of any of our countries which can be scaled up and implemented in other members of Global South. So one country can advise the plans of solutions for debt trap, then other countries also will automatically implement. Means these are all countries in Global South. If one country make plan 1, all other countries, country 2, country 3, country 4 will implement this plan 1 only. Plan 1. Okay, like that. But the mediator will be the Center of Excellence, R&D Center of Excellence. The center will act as a platform for developing countries to share their best practices and solutions to common development challenges. Okay, they can share their ideas, the plans in this platform. This is Center of Excellence. In this center they share their ideas. Then other countries will also implement the same ideas, plans in their country, so that they can come out of debt trap soon. Okay, it will play an important role in prompting sustainable development, addressing needs of developing countries. So what are the new initiatives? What are the new initiatives done at Global South Summit? Means Arogya Maitri project for health and Global South scholarship for students from developing countries to pursue higher education. Means this is youth plan. Global South Young Diplomats Forum to connect officers from foreign ministers with other countries. They can, one diplomatic forum they formed so that they can connect officers from all countries together to work together. Okay, India is offering to become voice of Global South through agenda of respond, recognize, respect and reform. Okay, 5 C's are there, 4 R's are there. 5 C's and 4 R's. Okay, agenda, respond, recognize, respect, reform. Here, consult, okay, discuss, like that things are there. So these 5 C's, 4 R's you have to remember in Global South. Voice of Global South is ongoing crisis. According to PM Modi, the world is facing lasting crisis and there is no clarity about how long this state of instability will last. So, no, the countries don't know how long this instability of LDC's debt trap problem will continue. So, what are India initiatives? What India did in Global South? Means induction of African Union into G20. African Union has joined G20, grouping International Solar Alliance, Biofuel Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. These 3 organizations, solar, biofuel and disaster management, 3 organizations were also joined in this Global South. Initiatives such as Maharishi focus on global food security, G20 digital public infrastructure framework aim to enhance collaboration and address shared challenges among Global South. Okay, so like they took some initiatives also at Global South. Even India will work to provide affordable generic medicines to share experience in natural farming with Global South countries. Okay, affordable generic medicines and natural farming, natural agriculture also, ideas also they will share with Global South LDC countries. India will also launch a special fund of 2.5 million, okay, 25 lakh fund to boost trade promotion activities, and $1 million. $1 million means 10 lakh dollars. Means nothing but 10 crore for capacity building in trade policy and trade negotiation. So India is working on which areas now? In generic medicine, natural farming, and trade issues. To solve trade issues, in India is spending how much? 1.25 crore amount. So by joining in Global South, how India is benefited now? So what is the benefit for India by joining Global South and doing some work? So that is international influence. India name will be grown in LDCs, means total Global South, means around 130 countries India will get a good name. And also strategic considerations, like in trade they can negotiate easily after joining this. Okay, and they can offset China's influence. India can defeat China with the help of Global South, because if China is making more tariff on some goods, it can import from other countries so that the tariff will be saved. Okay, economic development. By joining in Global South, India will get some economic development, because ideas will come from other countries that India can also implement by use of Center for Excellence. Okay, in how India is positioning itself as voice of Global South, because India has hosted all 3 virtual summits of Global South. Okay, enhancing connectivity, economic interlinkages. Even it is enhancing the connectivity infrastructure and economic interlinkages by undertaking projects ranging from large scale infrastructure development to community related projects in various sectors, health, housing and education. And even it is extending financial, budgetary, humanitarian assistance to partner countries. It is giving all types of assistance, even technical and budgetary support to all countries. Capacity building has been improved. Okay. So leading global climate agenda. Even India is leading Global South climate agenda, that is fight against climate change. Okay, advocacy of issues relevant for Global South like G20, okay, geopolitics. In all these issues, India is thinking of some solutions. And reforming multilateral institutions. India is trying to reform world organizations so that they can give effective solutions to countries of Global South. Like that, India is playing a prominent role in Global South, because India is connected to G20 plus Voice of Global South Summit. To both, India is the host. That's why it plays a key role in both summits. So what are the challenges here to make all this work, to work for this Global South? What are the challenges, problems India is facing? Means diverse interests, because different countries have different interests. They don't want to invest their time in geopolitics. Instead, they want to make their own economic development. In that case, India can't do anything as a mediator with the Center of Excellence. Okay, and competition with China. Even China will make a lot of plans to defeat India. That is a big problem. Diplomatic challenges. Okay, like visit problems in some countries in West Asia where there is war, there India can't go at that time. Like that, diplomatic practical challenges are there. Okay, these are things. By overcoming all these things, India must support Global South so that all the LDCs, okay, in the Global South must come out of debt trap. That we must wish after watching the Global South theme. Okay, so this is all about Global South, friends, Voice of Global South Summit. Hope you like the video. For many videos like this on our channel, please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you.